Today I've been asked to talk about how you work this crossing that you find in Bedfordshire, where you get two trails, one from each side, meeting in the middle, and either crossing or joining before separating again to form the next ring. This little pattern is taken from the Barbara Underwood book 20 Lessons, as it's affectionately known, or Introducing Traditional Bedfordshire Lace in 20 Lessons. You also find this crossing in the garter pattern here that I've designed from a Harry Armstrong inspiration, and you also get the same crossing where the two hearts join. So it's found in quite a few patterns in Bedfordshire. I've just started the two trails here, and I've worked now until I've got to the last pinhole in the centre here. The workers are currently on the outside edge, and what I'm going to do is to work in cloth stitch to meet both workers together at this pin. So just work through to the centre with both pairs. And once you get to the centre there, the two workers are then cloth stitched together, and one twist on both pairs, and the pin goes in the centre between the two pairs of workers. The workers then work back out to the respective sides, and you work the pinhole at 9 o'clock on the left and at 3 o'clock on the right. And this is where the workers are going to sit while you actually work the crossing. This is the first method that I'm going to show you. The second method is slightly different, but this method is the one that I use in most of my patterns where you have trails like this, because it makes the shape more complete. Particularly on the hearts, you would want the heart to look as though it was just touching the next heart in the pattern. So we've now got the workers part on the outside edge, and you've got 3 pairs of passives on the left and 3 on the right. Now this will work with any number. If you've got an odd number, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes you might have 5 on the left and 4 on the right. It will just mean you'll end up with 5 on the left and 4 on the right, or the other way around, depending which way they're going. And the pairs continue through this crossing to work the opposite trail. So the ones on the right work through the ones on the left, and they become that trail, and the ones on the left become the ones on the right. So we literally just cloth stitch the 3 on the right through the 3 on the left. It's like you start a spider as well, and it's always handy to remember to start in the middle so that you don't get the right pairs. So you work through 3 pairs, and then just count the 3 you've worked through, and then take the next one, or the last one in this case. Now you can tension them up a little bit. This will fill the space quite nicely in that trail. And then you bring the worker back from the left hand side through the 3 pairs of passives again. Leave it there for a moment and bring the right hand one back through, and you're going to do exactly the same as you did at the start. Join the 2 workers together with a cloth stitch and twist, and put a pin up. And this time you cover the pin because you want that pin to be covered, and then the pairs return again to the side to continue. And just make sure you tighten it up, tension it up nicely, just gently tension them, especially if you're working with finer thread so we don't break it. And then this one continues on the left, on the right side, and this one on the left, and you've done the crossing. I'll just undo that and show you the next method, which is slightly different and gives you a slightly different finish to the piece of lace. If there is space, I would always work this one in preference so that the shape becomes much more rounded. The other one makes it look as though they've just joined together but not keep maintaining the shape. But the other one you would use if you've got so many pairs that you can't do this method. The second method, I've again worked as far as the centre. I brought both workers through to the centre point, and again I meet the workers with a cloth stitch. This time one of the pairs is going to become a passive, and the other one is becoming the worker. So I put 2 twists on the worker pair and I put the pin in the centre. Now this method would work if you've got a lot of pairs in this crossing, where it would be too bulky if you did the crossing through. So now I'm going to cloth stitch to the left through the pairs, and the passive, which was a worker from the left, has become a passive. And I'm going to then work, after the pin, work right through all of them, right through to the right hand side. In cloth stitch, obviously. And tension it up, and then next I come back to the centre. So you just have to make sure you've got the centre pair that you left there, the worker pair, and you work back through and you meet with that worker pair again, 1 twist on both, pop the pin in, and then continue. Now this works better if you have an irregular number of pairs, and for instance you want to keep the irregular number of pairs. If you've got 5 on the right hand side and you need to keep them there because you need pairs coming in and out at certain points, then this is the method that would suit the situation better. The pairs of passives from the right hand side stay on the right hand side and they just zigzag in and out, whereas the others actually exchange places. So it's just a little bit of thought goes into a design when you start working it, which method you want to use. It's always a good idea to try them out before you work a big piece and see which you like and see which you prefer the finish of. This is thought to be the older method, whereas the newer method I showed you first is probably one that came in much later. It's a lot more stitches of work, and the old lace makers would do it the quickest way possible. The quickest way isn't necessarily the way we want today's lace to look, so it's your choice which way you work this crossing. I hope you enjoyed that video and it's been helpful. Leave me a comment, a like, and subscribe to the channel to hear of more videos coming soon. Thanks for watching.